Welcome to the Greenville City Council Candidate Forums. This forum is a joint production of Interbanks Media and the Daily Reflector. Please watch and listen to the candidates as they discuss issues pertinent to voters in the city of Greenville. Here is your host for this Greenville Candidate Forum, Bobby Burns, Executive Editor of the Daily Reflector.
Hello, and welcome to the Greenville City Council Forums brought to you by the Daily Reflector and Interbanks Media. The session features the candidates for the mayoral seat on the City Council, Connelly and Mildred Council. All registered voters in the city can cast a ballot in this race. The session is scheduled for 30 minutes. Each candidate will have up to 2 minutes to answer each question. We will alternate which candidate answers first. Candidates will have 1 minute for an opening statement and up to 2 minutes to close. I will be asking the questions, and my colleague, Mary Doring, will be keeping time. We drew lots to determine the order in which candidates will speak. With that, I want to thank both candidates for their participation. We will start off with an opening statement from Ms. Council.
Hello, I am Mildred Council, and I am a candidate for the mayor, City of Greenville, North Carolina, and I would like to ask all the members of our community to vote for me during early voting or election day. And I like to say what I bring to you for this campaign. I have many years of experience being on a municipal platform. I served 16 years as mayor pro tem with the city of Greenville under 3 different mayors, alongside 3 different mayors, I must say. And they were wonderful 3 2-year terms. Also, I bring experience from the North Carolina Legal Municipalities, where I served as president of the Women in Municipal Government and the North Carolina Black Municipal Elected Officials. At the National League of Cities level, I also served on boards there as well. And in this community, I've done lots of work with people of this community, and there were several pet peeve projects that I did during my 22 years on the Greenville City Council.
Thank you. Mayor Connelly.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is PJ Connelly. I'm the mayor of the city of Greenville, and I'm seeking re-election this year. It has been an honor to serve the citizens of Greenville over the last 10 years, 4 terms as the mayor of our city and 1 term as the District 5 council representative. First, I'd like to say thank you to IBX Media and the Daily Reflector for putting on this forum, the opportunity for us to have a platform to be able to engage and answer questions for the citizens of Greenville. To save some time, I will cut my comments short so we can get into the questions, but thank you so much for the opportunity to be here today.
Okay, the first question goes to Ms. Council. North Carolina is experiencing a boom in data center development as the use of artificial intelligence grows. Should the city change its regulations to promote more of this type of development? Why or why not? And what other types of industry should the city encourage, and how should we do it?
In terms of data, AI is one of the latest trends in media, and many people are using it, but I personally don't trust it all myself, but I know many of our people that is into media do, but I think we should use both because we will have a better way of keeping up with what's really happening, and I think that God really gave us brains to articulate many things, and we've done well so far in our history, and I don't see artificial intelligence being all that we need. I think we could use both of those ways to communicate and go in and tell people what they need to be saying or interpreting what they're saying. But it is a new wave.
Change its regulations to promote more of this type of development?
I don't think so at this moment. I would like to learn more about it, but from what I see, I have been in some training on AI, and it was interesting, but I'm not quite sold on it yet because technology is good, but technology can also ruin your life as well.
Mayor Connelly.
You know, I was fortunate enough to sit on the city council when we first had the discussion that was kind of, I guess, around the data processing center discussion. It's kind of a new technology. I think it's something new that has emerged, and I think that we've seen it morph into other things as AI. Some of the restrictions that were put in place during those discussions strongly discouraged some of those types of developments to take place. If I remember correctly, I think by the time we finished up the discussions, I think we had limited it down to about 5 parcels in the entire county that could potentially do a data center. I think any new type of business is something that we'll have to look at. I think it's incumbent upon the elected officials for a community to make sure that they look at all the data and understanding of what type of businesses are trying to locate in our city, because we want to make sure that it's going to be something that's going to be a benefit to our city and not something that's going to hurt or damage our city. So, I'm a big firm believer of being able to have people come before us, have a discussion, allowing the citizens to come to the city council chambers and voice their opinion if they're in favor or not. I think things are changing on a consistent basis, and I think in businesses, it's always good for people to come to us with different opportunities, and then I think the elected officials need to make a sound judgment based off the information they receive, not only from our staff, but also from our community members.
Okay, question 2 goes to Mr. Connelly. State legislation passed last week greatly limits the ability of cities to regulate the size of U.S. and North Carolina flags. And if approved, it will nullify steps Greenville has taken to enforce flag rules violated by Camping World. What signal is the legislature sending to property owners who violate city rules, and how should the city respond, and how should it address similar situations in the future?
Sure, absolutely. I think one of the first things I learned as an elected official is there's kind of a hierarchy in government. And one of the things that I first learned from reading our charter when I was first elected was we receive the rights from the state. The state is the one that controls our rights. They allow us to be able to do certain things in our community, and they decided to step in this particular situation. Based off on when this will air, it's up to the governor if he wants to make sure and sign into law the bill that was just passed. If he does not, it becomes law if he doesn't do anything. But if it's vetoed, it would be up to the legislature to be able to override that veto. I've been against the idea of us suing the Camping World. Part of the reason is that I feel like there's more important things in our community that we need to focus on. It's not so much that we condone and say that it's okay for a business to file an incorrect permit and then do whatever they want to. That was wrong. I wholeheartedly think that was wrong, and I think the Camping World, if they would have gone about it a different method, came to the city first, had that discussion about, hey, we would like to go ahead and put a 3,200 square foot flag, 130 foot pole up, I think we could have had a better discussion of finding a way to make things work. But I just feel like there's so many other things that the citizens are asking us to address. I mean, one of which would be, I think, our infrastructure. That's always one of the biggest things I hear. Crime is always a big issue, and also affordable housing. I think those are the things that probably the citizens need us to focus on as a community. And I just felt like that was something that we probably could have worked with the company to address.
Ms. Council, would you like me to repeat that?
Yes.
State legislation passed last week greatly limits the ability of cities to regulate the size of U.S. and North Carolina flags, and if approved, nullifies steps Greenville has taken to enforce flag rules violated by Camping World. What signal is the legislature sending to property owners who violate city rules, and how should the city respond, and how should it address similar situations in the future?
Well, in my opinion, the state legislature made a bad decision because we have our own city ordinances, and people are supposed to really abide by them. If they want to not go by them, they should come to the city to petition that, and if it passes through the city council that's sitting at that time, then they should be able to move forward. But I think that it's overreach into our cities and towns, and the state legislature has this role to do. The city council should have its role, and I think that they are just overreaching, taking charge of everything, and they have enough to do. If they take care of things at the state level that they need to be taken care of, the city knows how to run its city. And I do not agree with what the state legislature has done.
Okay. Question 3 comes to Ms. Council. The City Council this year maintained a city property tax rate of 39.54 cents, the lowest in 20 years, while adding services such as police and firefighting positions. Could the city have set a lower tax rate while maintaining those public safety positions?
I think the city took a good stance on that because taxes, they didn't go up as much as they could have, but they were able to fund those necessary services such as fighters, public safety, sidewalks, and some of those things that we need. So I feel that they could have done, I think they did well based on what, and matter of fact, I have the rates that I did some research on that, and I think that the taxes dropped from 48.5%, and that was in 2023, and then it went to 54% now, which is still lower than many other cities and towns of its size in our state. So I think the city of Greenville did okay with that. So I'm not as concerned about that as I am some other issues. Yes.
Mr. Connelly, would you like me to repeat that?
No, I'm okay. You know, I think that the city could offer a revenue neutral rate. I think that many people throughout our community saw a large increase in their taxes when they opened up their tax bill this August and saw that their taxes, many people have seen it double. I think it was sticker shock for them. Sometimes it's a good thing when your property values go up, especially if you're selling, but when you own the property and you have to pay more in taxes, any savings to the citizens is extremely important. We've gone through several years of inflation, very high inflation, and I know a lot of people are struggling right now to be able to pay their mortgages, pay their utility bills, and any type of savings that we could possibly have to help the citizens is extremely important. There are ways to be able to get to a revenue neutral budget. We had a couple additional positions that were funded that we are still struggling to be able to fill. There's also some lapsed salaries that were in the police department, fire and rescue department, that make up for over $1 million in excess funds that are in the budget. And I'd say every year that I have been the mayor of our city or on the city council, I think we've had over $1 million surplus. So I think it is definitely possible for us to be able to do a revenue neutral rate, save the citizens some money, and also be able to provide excellent service to the community. The two most important departments, I shouldn't say the two most important, two of the most important departments in our city are the fire and rescue and our police departments, and we want to make sure that we provide an excellent service to the citizens of Greenville, and we still could maintain that with a revenue neutral rate.
Thank you. So the next question comes to you, Mr. Connelly. The city has taken a number of steps in recent years to increase the affordable housing stock, including most recently investing city funds in a community partnership to build 50 single-family homes in 10 years. What challenges remain in promoting affordable housing, and to what degree should the city and its tax dollars be involved?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that what we've seen from this last endeavor and this last partnership that we've had with Pitt Community College and the City of Greenville and many other community partners, I think ECU Health and Becky and Parker Overton, that were donating private funds. I mean, that is an outstanding program. That program alone will be able to build 50 homes in 10 years in West Greenville. It's also going to be able to provide job training skills for many of those students from Pitt Community College that will be able to learn those trade skills, jump into the workforce, get on-site training for them, and then potentially be able to get a high-paying trade job or potentially even be a business owner. So I think that's a great opportunity. The other opportunity that I think that we have is the city receives CDBG funds and home funds every year. You know, just quoting numbers, I think we've been anywhere between $1.3 and $1.6 million, and that's been able to allow us to focus on different things like down payment assistance, rehabilitation assistance for homeowners. We've had rental assistance for some citizens throughout the city. So there's different things that we can do there. to be able to help out and provide affordable housing. But I think the other thing that you have to understand too is it's a multi-pronged approach. Affordability is different for every person. People that are lower income have different issues than people that are middle income. So the one thing that we have to focus on as a city is to make sure that the supply is high, because if the demand is high and the supply is low, those prices will continue to elevate. So anybody that's out looking for a house, if we don't have enough houses in our community, are going to see higher prices, and it's going to make it less affordable for people to find homes in our community.
Ms. Council, would you like me to repeat it?
Yes.
The city has taken a number of steps in recent years to increase its affordable housing stock, including most recently investing city funds in a community partnership to build 50 single-family homes in 10 years. What challenges remain in promoting affordable housing, and to what degree should the city and its tax dollars be involved?
I think that is great that the city has made that step to do 50 houses that are affordable, but it actually should double, because we pay our taxes, and we need also more job opportunities in our city to that more than that's up to $15 an hour or more to live on, because that's not enough. So we really do need to have affordability, because in the city of Greenville we have plenty of houses, as we know, and they're funded by all types of things. Section 8, for instance, has helped lots of families to be able to live comfortably. And then, of course, some of our developers don't accept that, or they don't agree with it. And so that's a downfall there, because if you don't have the job opportunities here for many of our people, then that is a really sad situation. And there are people still today that graduate from our high schools here, and they have to leave Greenville to get a job, and that is absolutely ridiculous. So when I become mayor, I would like to see extra steps being taken to make sure that our people that live here, that are born here, that was raised here, is able to stay home, to get a job, and be able to be functionable and to live the life that everyone else expects to live once you have gotten a good education and all of that. So that kind of nonsense happened when I was growing up here and everything, but it's time out for that. So we do need to have more affordability, but on top of that, we need to have some jobs that people can get, and also they're equitable in being utilized by all of its citizens.
Thank you. Next question comes to you, Ms. Council.
Mm-hmm.
The council is scheduled to vote soon on a unified development ordinance. In response to public input, the UDO includes requirements meant to expand the city's tree canopy. Do you support regulations like ones in the proposal that dictate how many trees someone has to include on the property they are developing? Why or why not?
In terms of climate change is real. We have enough brick and mortar in our city, and we do not need to get rid of all our trees and vegetation, because that hampers our environmental peace. It's not good for our mental or physical health. And trees have always been a better way of life for us. And I think that developers not only should have trees, but they also need to have some parks where these children can have a place to go, because we have lots of, quote, nice communities in our city right now that do not even have a park for our young people to have a place to play in, and that's ridiculous. So that should be included in all this modernization of homes. They need to have think of the total person. We need to have comprehensive health in our community. And that's one way, if we have those trees and making sure that it's livable, it's healthy, that will be a better environment for our people. And health and wellness is what I also believe in, and it comes in forms of mental and physical health, because it all ties into the quality of life in which our city have. And so if we do it better, we can make sure that more people will be more healthier.
Mayor Connelly?
I think that it is important from a beautification standpoint to be able to incorporate more vegetation requirements in our city. I do think that one of the things that I notice when traveling around throughout our state and other states is that Greenville does look very beautiful. I think if you go down Greenville Boulevard and you see the crepe myrtles that line most of the sections of Greenville Boulevard, it adds an additional beautification to our community. We've had several people and citizens that have come before us over the last couple of years discussing about adding new trees and saying that our tree canopy is not as large as it needs to be. And I think, I'm not going to make any breaking news here, but I think there'll be some announcement coming up in the next few weeks about an effort that's being made for us to be able to have more trees in our community. But I'm a wholeheartedly believe that it's important for us to do that. I think from a beautification standpoint and overall health of our community, I think that we do need to continue to ask people to keep trees in our community. And I'll say personally, when picking out my house that I currently live in, one of the things that drew us to our house was we were one of the only houses in the neighborhood that had trees. And so I think it's a great thing. I think it's aesthetically pleasing. And I appreciate all the citizens that have come before us to bring that up and explain the importance of that in our city and throughout the state.
So do you support those regulations in the UDO?
I think that it's a good way for us to talk to the citizens, get the feedback, get an understanding what other communities are doing, and I think that's part of the process. And I'm looking forward for the UDO results to come back to us so we can make a sound decision as a council.
Thank you. Question 6 goes to you, Mr. Connelly. The council adopted rules in 2023 that eliminate the requirement that new bars be at least 500 feet from existing bars, as long as they are no more than 2,000 square feet. Three businesses now have secured permits to operate under the new rules. Should the square footage requirement be increased to encourage even more businesses? And should those rules be expanded citywide?
I'll give you the honest answer. I think that we spend a tremendous amount of time talking about alcohol establishments, and I think that there are probably more important things that we can talk about. I know that is a large element for some of our younger population, and I'd say even some of the people, working professionals throughout our community that do enjoy going to those type of establishments, but we do spend a tremendous amount of time discussing that. One of the things that I was very concerned about when we first started talking about the Bar 2022 ordinance that was put in place to expand some of the opportunities in the downtown area was the only thing that we were changing was the actual area downtown. And part of the problem that we have in our downtown area is we've restricted it so much that only alcohol establishments can open in that particular area, short of a few other small places throughout the community. And what you do is you create almost a alcohol/drinking district in our downtown area when we want to see different types of retail locations open up down there to be able to expand more of what our downtown's about. Our downtown does not need to be only and solely a place where you go to the bar. I think it needs to have retail locations. It needs to have restaurants there. We need people walking on the streets. We need larger businesses operating down there. We want to make sure that we're interconnected throughout our downtown. We don't want it to be disjointed where our district are over on Dickinson Avenue and then our downtown area. We want everything to flow nicely so people can walk from each different district and go down to the town common. We're really excited to see some of the things that are changing down in the town common. Hopefully with a new bulkhead, we'll be able to see some new concert venues that'll be taking place. But I think we spend a lot of time over there. My personal belief is that we probably should look at it from more of a holistic approach throughout the city and make sure that the right steps are put in place to make sure that we protect the citizens of Greenville.
Thank you. Ms. Council, I'll repeat the question. The council adopted rules in 2023 that eliminate the requirement that new bars be at least 500 feet from existing bars downtown, as long as they are no more than 2,000 square feet in size. 3 businesses have now secured permit to operate under the new rules. Should the square footage requirement be increased to encourage even more bars to locate downtown, and should those rules be expanded citywide?
I don't think so. I think we have enough at the moment, and I remember being on a task force to go to Georgia with the Chamber of Commerce when I was on council to take a look at what makes a city attractive to the different age groups. During the lunchtime, I remember we talked about people going to lunch, and then in the evening hours, there's your younger group that want a place to go and be able to get alcohol and enjoy themselves and all of that. So we went to Georgia to look at what they were doing there, and we brought that information back at the time, and Greenville looked at it, and we sort of mimicked them in a way to look at how we could do it, but it was years later, and now I see we have some of that, but I don't think we need any more right now in uptown Greenville or downtown Greenville, because it's changed its name so many times. But we need all kinds of entertainment that would meet needs of our citizens, but I think we have enough where they are located, and I think they should stay where they are, because we do not need to have them all over the city. That's my opinion.
Okay, with that, each candidate will have 2 minutes to close, and we will start with Mr. Connelly.
Thank you. Thank you again to the Daily Reflector and IBX Media for offering this platform. It's been an honor to serve the citizens of Greenville over the last decade. Again, 2 years as a city council representative, 8 years as the mayor of this city. I came to Greenville 22 years ago to play baseball at East Carolina University, graduated with a finance degree, and went on to play professional baseball for a few years. And then when I retired, I came back to Greenville to make it my permanent home. I knew that Greenville was a place that I wanted to raise a family, open a business. I had no aspirations to be a politician or get involved in local government. And then back in 2015, I made the decision to go ahead and run for city council, and really enjoyed it. I felt like it was a way for me to be able to give back to my community. It was a way for me to be able to make Greenville a place that my kids were proud to live in, and a place that I know that they'll come back to and make their permanent home once they finish up their school. It has been a tremendous honor to be in this position. We've seen a tremendous amount of growth over the last 10 years. I still think we have a lot of work to do. I think some of the things that we need to really focus on over the next 2 years would be to continue to invest in our public safety. I think crime is always a major issue. We want our citizens to feel safe in our community, make sure that our law enforcement officers have the resources necessary and understand that we have their back to make sure that Greenville's a safe place to live. We also want to continue to make sure that we're investing in our infrastructure. I think our infrastructure is extremely important. Greenville's blessed to be a community that we've seen tremendous amount of growth over the last several years. But we also want to make sure that we're keeping up with that growth. We also want to make sure that we're investing heavily into things that matter, and I think affordable housing is extremely important. We want to do things that are going to make our city a more affordable place to live and opportunities for everyone throughout our community. I asked for the citizens to consider me on November 4th. Early voting starts on October 16th, and I want to say thank you to the citizens for entrusting me over the last 10 years to serve the city.
Thank you. Ms. Council?
Thank you again for having us tonight to be a part of this forum, and I am excited to take a look back again at the city of Greenville. I served 22 years, as I mentioned earlier, on the Greenville City Council, and we did a lot of great work, and some of those things that exist today, I was a part of that. And so moving forward, my top platform issues are economic development. We definitely need more of that. We need affordable housing that people can really afford, and that means we need some jobs to get to our people that need the jobs. And it's not that they're not qualified, it's that they're not being able to get the jobs for some strange reason. So that is a definitely issue for me, that we need to make sure everybody can have and feel like they're at home once they go away and get a degree or get prepared, however that is, they need to be given equal opportunities here. And that is not happening. And so I will be everybody's mayor that will look after the least of us in terms of the marginalized community as well as the richest communities, because everyone has some problems that a city council usually deals with. And I would like to be part of the new Greenville starting 2025 on the council, because I have great leadership skills. And not only have I served on the city council, I served 6 years, 9 months on the school board and retired as this board chairman. So you're looking at someone that know how to lead, will look after everybody in our city and making sure that we pool those resources and making sure that everyone counts and will be able to have a better Greenville in our future. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Council. This concludes our forum with the candidates for the mayoral seat on the Greenville City Council. Thank you again to PJ Connelly and Mildred Council for your participation. To our audience, thank you for watching. Today's questions all are taken from the headlines of the Daily Reflector, so we hope you will please keep reading and stay informed. Remember, early voting runs November 16 through November 1, and Election Day is November 4th. October 16 through November 1. Thank you very much.